Hey guys, I want to talk with you a little bit today about one element of life called resistance. And this is something, of course, we all are going to deal with at one point in time. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, of course. Every single thing that we endeavor to do in this life, be it a job pursuit, maybe it's a romantic or a relationship pursuit or a business pursuit or any conceivable number of things that we're going to set out to do, there are going to be these times when you meet resistance. And I just wanted to talk about that resistance specifically a little bit today and what I've found to be the best way to approach and deal with the resistance specifically. So the advice today is really twofold. It's number one, just learning to realize when you have this significant amount of resistance, and of course being able to make a decision at what point that resistance becomes so much that you learn to take it as a cue to find a different way and take a different course of action, let's say. So like I said, those are really the two parts of the advice today. So I mean, the first one, I think, the learning to identify the resistance is going to mean something a little bit different to everybody. I think, we've all got different levels of patience and time that we're willing to devote to things, or, there's, many times when we can be told no about something, we just keep getting resistance in many different fashions. And, of course, we all want to have the wherewithal to withstand those periods of resistance and push through it. But I'm just saying, you're going to get to these points in your life with particular situations where the resistance is just so great and it's unrelenting. And I just started to look at it as kind of like a cue from, if you want to call it the universe, if you want to call it God, if you want to call it your fate, if you want to call it whatever, just a cue to say, hey, wake up. This isn't working, this path isn't working, maybe this pathway isn't right for you, maybe any number of things. And like I said, just taking that as a cue to alter your actions and do something different and find a different way and go about things in a different manner. And don't mistake what I'm saying here. I'm not saying to give up on your hopes, your dreams, your aspirations, your desires, your things you want to do in life. I'm just saying that sometimes that might require you to take a different way if the resistance, once again, is just so great. And if you've ever tried something, you feel like you're just constantly banging your head against the wall, you just can't get ahead, you just can't win, you just cannot get around this problem with what you're doing. I mean, these are those times in my mind when I've calculated that, hey, this is that significant resistance where that alarm bell is finally going off my brain telling me to do something different. And as I said, this is going to be something different to everybody out there. This is going to mean something a little bit different. But the reason why I feel like this advice is pertinent and the reason why I want to communicate it to you is because I think there is there's a lot to be said for living an efficient life and finding the path of least resistance, let's say, to navigate your life by way of that sort of approach versus just constantly hitting walls and constantly just, like I said, banging your head against the wall in frustration. And I just, like I was starting to say, the reason why I think this is pertinent is I've seen this in my life so many times where I've gotten so hung up on some particular thing that I was doing. There was so much resistance there. I wasted a lot of time just continuing to pour efforts into those situations where there was that significant amount of resistance. And the hindsight, of course, being 2020, as I look back on those situations and wished that I would have realized a little bit sooner this business about all this resistance going on about what I was doing, and had I altered course sooner, at that point, than what I finally figured out, eventually to do, I would have arrived at my goals sooner. I would have been less frustrated, less stressed, less, all sorts of number of things if I would have just had that ability to, like I said, the two-part thing, recognize when the resistance is there in significant fashion. And number two, the biggest part is just learning when to take action and alter course and do something different and go about something in a different manner. It's just such a tremendous learning curve, I think, in life to master your own destiny and master what you're doing, master yourself, just really being able to tune in and learn about that resistance and deal with it appropriately. So I hope you're having a wonderful day. We'll talk to you real soon.